What's up, guys? There's one question I get all the time. It's, what camera do you use for recording your videos? So today I'm going to talk about my camera and all my video gear. Let's get started. First off, let's get the camera out of the way. I use the Panasonic GH5. There it is. The GH5 is a micro four thirds DSLR, and it's full featured. It's got every feature you can actually think about, but it's not perfect. Here are the reasons I chose the GH5 to record my videos. Number one, it shoots 4K video. Number two, it shoots beautiful slow motion, up to 240 frames per second. Next, it has a flip out screen. You can see it here. I'm actually using it right now. There's the flip out screen right here. It's great for vlogging, but it's also just great when I'm shooting at home. I can glance at the screen and make sure that I'm in focus or things are framed properly. Next, this is great in low light. I shoot indoors a lot, and sometimes even when shooting at night, I need a camera that actually performs really well in low light. But the lenses help that as well, and I'll talk about those in just a second. Lastly, it has a really great app for the iPhone that you can use to control the camera remotely. And I can use this to set up the camera, then position myself, and then get myself in focus, start recording, stop recording. It does a lot of stuff. So the features I just mentioned are the must-haves for a camera, and I chose this camera because of those features. Number one, I shoot indoors a lot. I'm shooting with a camera in one place pointed at me. Number two, I shoot products a lot. So whenever I do videos of cool gadgets and stuff like that, I like to take those slow motion shots that just make these look so delicious. Also, I travel. So when I'm traveling, it's really nice to have a camera that's good vlogging style with the flip out screen. Now, in my opinion, the only thing that's really not great about the GH5 is the autofocus function. And you'll hear about this a lot when people talk about the GH5. And no matter what I've tried, the autofocus is just not that great. When I'm out there and holding the camera out and walking around and stuff, it's really a pain. But when I'm sitting here and have the camera positioned in one place, I just use manual focus and it just works out just fine for me. All right, so let's talk about lenses. The lens I'm using right now is a 12 to 35 millimeter zoom lens. Now, the other lens that I've had for months now and that I've used for all of my videos in the past few months has been the Panasonic 20 millimeter 1.7. This is really good in low light. It's fantastic for getting the background out of focus and really focusing on the subject instead. And it's small and light and really easy to carry around. Now, the only problem with this is it's a 20 millimeter, so it gets really up close. And with the lens that I have on right now, I'm able to get a much wider shot at 12 millimeters. I zoomed in a little bit. I'll show you what it's like when you zoom out. You can see a lot more of my surroundings. And one of the reasons I got this lens is when I'm out and about and holding this camera out, I do want to get more of my background. Now, both the lenses I have for the GH5 are really good in low light. The 20 millimeter is a 1.7, as I mentioned, and the lens that's on the camera right now, the 12 to 35 millimeters, has a fixed 2.8 f-stop. Now, the GH5 isn't cheap. It's a $2,000 camera. That's just for the body. If you are looking for a cheaper alternative, I shot with the Panasonic G85 for a long time and I loved that camera a lot. It's 4K. The only thing that it didn't have was slow motion video. You can get that camera brand new for around $900 with a lens. Now, if $900 is a lot to you, I have another camera I'd recommend. I have the the Canon G7X, and some of the shots in this video were shot using the G7X. This is a really great, nice point and shoot camera that shoots excellent video. It's got the great tilt up screen. It's great for vlogging. It's great for when you're traveling. I'm not sure what the current price is, but I'll put a link in the description below. All right, let's talk about the microphone. I'm using the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. The VideoMic Pro Plus is the one that actually powers on automatically when your camera turns on, and it also powers off automatically when you turn off your camera. That's a must-have feature. The sound quality is really good. It really blocks out the background noise. I have had a little trouble with the microphone with the GH5 because the signal is way too hot and it kind of accentuates some frequencies that I have to tweak in post-production. The VideoMic Pro is also not a cheap microphone. If you're looking for something entry level, I highly recommend the Rode VideoMic Pro. Excellent sound quality, no batteries, nothing like that. It just works right out of the box. Highly recommended. So what about tripods? I use almost all the time the Joby Gorillapod 3K. It's on the camera right now. There it is. And I also use this when I'm traveling. It's just super easy to carry around and set up anywhere. All right. I don't know how many of you have ever tried this, but this is a regular mic stand with a boom. And that's what makes it super cool for cameras. So you'll see at the top, instead of a stand for the microphone, I have this little device, and I'll put a link to this in the description below. It screws right onto the mic stand, and then what you do is you attach your camera right on top. So I can mount my camera on this mic stand, and now I have a camera with boom. I try to do most of my shooting during the day because the daylight is so much nicer than artificial lights. But sometimes when I do shoot at night, I use artificial lighting. I use LED lighting by Aputure. I have the large Aputure Amaran HR672S light panel with a remote. It's really nice. I also have a couple of the small Aputure Amaran AL-H198. These are small lights, they're battery powered. I kind of set this up sometimes behind me to get the lighting from behind or from the side. In my Black Panther video, I use the Philips Hue Bloom light to add some color. I also use a $10 umbrella that you'll see. So that's my standard setup. Now I also use other little tools when I'm on the go or sometimes in the studio. I'll show you some of that fun stuff now. I sometimes use the Zhiyun Crane gimbal. This is really great when you need really smooth shots. I've got the Canon G7X mounted on it right now, but I typically put my GH5 on this so it can handle large DSLRs like that. I don't use this all the time. I did use it on my video of the Frenetic in New York. This is really great. It's kind of heavy and it's not that easy to carry around, but when you need those really smooth shots, this thing is great. It's not cheap either. I wish I made more use of this thing. One of my favorite pieces of gear is this thing right here. This is a slider dolly. It's really small. This is something I love to carry around with me when I'm traveling because it gives you slider type shots. You fold out the wheels like this, and then you just slide it to get beautiful sliding shots, or you can angle the wheels to get like a shot that's rotating around something. This is not expensive, but it's so useful. And it's so much easier than carrying around those large sliders. I'll put a link to this in the description below as well. Now finally, I use a DJI Mavic Pro for those epic drone shots. I've shot this in the desert. I've flown this thing all over the world. It's awesome. It's so easy to carry around and it's so easy to fly. These things are just fantastic. So that's what I use to shoot my videos. After I shoot the videos, all the editing, most of the work happens in Final Cut Pro on my MacBook. All my gear is linked in the description below, including links to Amazon if you're interested in buying any of this stuff. But listen, don't let the gear hold you back, and don't let it delay you from creating the videos. I've shot some of my most popular videos with an old iPhone. What's much more important is the content that you create and your message. Create something that people love to watch, and 4K video in slow motion isn't gonna matter. All these extra fun tools just give you shortcuts to your creative vision. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Keep making the videos and the music that you love, and I will see you guys later.